Okay, so I just tested out using OBS and YouTube to live stream, and sadly, it seems like I won't be able to do live streams. So, welcome to Chloethedev Unfiltered. Chloethedev here, and sorry, but this is not a live stream. I will. Not, I'm just going to be doing these videos pre-recorded now. It's the best I can do. So what this video is the beginning of a series called Getting Started with Near. And so I guess this first video, because it's not live, it's going to serve as a complete test. I'm just going to ramble on for a little bit about all the things that I think are important to know for someone who's pretty much never really heard of blockchain much. Maybe you've heard of Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum, but you might not really know what blockchain is that much. And instead of going through all the typical blockchain topics, we're just going to get started straight into Near, which is the blockchain, and straight into what is important to know if you wanted to just get started today. Okay, so yes, let's just go ahead and do it. So this is wallet.near.org. It is a website that links you to the Near wallet. This wallet is created by the Near Foundation, so it's relatively trustworthy. I mean, if this wallet had an issue or was trying to steal your funds, that would mean that the actual Near Foundation, which is the foundation that runs the Near blockchain, or they at least try and make sure that the Near blockchain stays, healthy and viable and continues to be updated. That would be against their best interests to have an issue with the wallet. At the same time, you don't really want to in blockchain. Usually, one of the more interesting parts about blockchain is that it allows users to be self-sovereign, and all that really means is you have control of your own assets. So we can come over here and let's look at my. This is Chloethedev.near. So Near has accounts. And just like your bank account or your Facebook account, your Instagram account, you usually have a public name and then a private password. So in blockchain, they're called keys, right? So you have a public key and then a private key. And all that really means is your public key is a account name that everybody can see publicly. Okay, so public key is a public account name. So Chloethedev.near up here is my public key. I have a few of them. I have Amory.near, and I have some friends. I got some accounts for my friends. I'll give them to them later. Angelina.near, Chloe.near. This is my funding account for my Ledger, which is a hardware wallet. We'll get to that later. MarmaJ.near for the Marma J Foundation, which I'm the founder of. Mika.near for my dog. I just wanted it. And Rebecca.near. So the Rebecca and Angelina ones are for my friends. And so you could go to your profile for a certain account. So this is my profile for Chloethedev.near. You can see account, right? We talked about that. You have a public key. So this is my account. So visible to, this helps out, public. So everyone can see my account. Everyone can see my total balance. So this is kind of where, when you're used to a bank account, you might have a public bank account number that everyone can see, but not everyone can see how much money you have in your bank account. So one of the main trade-offs with blockchain is you don't really have as much privacy. So you get to be self-sovereign, you get control over your own assets, but you don't get the privacy that centralized platforms offer you. And centralized just means that there's a central point of failure, which means like if a bank loses all their data, then there's no one to back that up. If the data's gone. So back in the day, you had a checkbook, and maybe I never did this personally. My grandmother does this still. She writes a checkbook and she keeps a copy of the check, and then she sends the check to the bank so that she keeps a ledger, an account of all the transactions, and the bank does. So she doesn't really trust the bank, right? If the bank makes a mistake, she's there looking at her ledger, her checkbook, and be like, "Oh no, look, I didn't do this." And I think in today's society, we don't do that anymore usually, or most people don't, because what are you going to do? I mean, this is how I think. Like, what are you going to do if the bank doesn't give you the appropriate amount of money? it's really hard to prove that the bank made a mistake, in my opinion. With blockchain, with that self-sovereignty, so me having control of my own assets, yes, everyone can see my total balance, but at the same time, you can have a summary of all the transactions you've ever completed, and it's actually very easy to prove all of my. You could take my starting balance was 0. I can know that I deposited 1,000 tokens, right? So on Near, they're called Near tokens. So that's the token that you use to, I guess, send transactions. Every transaction takes a little bit of a fee. So sending a bank transfer, you want to have some fee attached to it. And on the blockchain, it's the same kind of thing. Every transfer has some sort of fee attached to it. You pay for that fee in the tokens of that platform, usually. So on Bitcoin, if you've heard of Bitcoin before, when you want to send some Bitcoin tokens to someone else from one account to another account, that's going to cost some sort of fee, which is called gas, a gas fee. It's like, if you drive a car, you got to put some gas in it to go somewhere. And that fee on Bitcoin is paid in Bitcoin tokens. On Ethereum, if you've heard of Ethereum before, it's paid in Ethereum tokens. And on Near, it's paid in Near tokens. So that part's typically the same across most, or I guess almost every blockchain at this point in time. One of the unique features of Near is that there's this minimum balance. And I got my brother onto Near a few weeks ago, a month and a bit ago now. I guess I've been in Antigua for a month, so more than a month ago. And he was confused by this minimum balance criteria. So all minimum balance, it seems simple enough, but it's always important of why. Why is there a minimum balance? So the reason there's a minimum balance is because on Near, you have to pay for storage for your account. So this is saying that the amount of storage this account has used or needs to stay active is 0.2319 Near. Okay, so if I go below this amount, my account will be deleted, because I'm not paying the required amount to keep my data stored. If I go to a different account, let's try marmaj.near. This is for the Marmaj Foundation. So this one, the minimum balance is 0.081 Near. Okay, so you can see how it's different across every account. Like Amory.near, the minimum amount will be 0.0462. And the reason that the Chloethedev.near one, let's go back. It might take a little while to load, sorry. My internet isn't the fastest here. I'm using dial-up internet through my phone line. But the reason the minimum balance here is so high is probably because if you look at my summary, I have a lot of authorized apps. So because I have all these authorized apps, and you can remove, so if I just hit view all, you can see I have 15 applications. So sometimes when you authorize an app like on Facebook or on Instagram to see your data, you can revoke access as well. So here's kind of the same. And you can see why. So there's a public key, right? And I can deauthorize as well. So this Berry Club is authorized to view my account name. That helps them on their application. And they can also use this smart contract, this application, on my behalf, but only up to 0.01178 Near. So it's actually interesting. I have quite a few fee allowances that aren't done yet. So, and it costs a bit to deauthorize. So eventually I'll deauthorize majority of these, because you can see that it adds up quite a bit, all of these different fee allowances, but we're probably getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Let's go back to my profile. And so this is my total balance that everyone can see. This is my minimum balance. If I go below this, my account gets deleted, but it's not that much. And my available balance, so what I can spend without getting my account deleted, is 60.57471 Near. Okay, so that's the basics of a Near account. You have your account, you have some sort of balance in that account, and then you have some sort of minimum balance because you're paying for storage on your account. On some other blockchains, you don't have to pay for storage, and that's a lot of other complicated issues can arise from that as well. So one of the things that Near tries to provide users right off the bat, like I said, wallet.near.org is a wallet that's created by the Near Foundation. So relatively trustworthy for the majority of users of the Near blockchain. So because of that, they allow you to recover easily from your email address. So if you have a secure email address that you think is relatively secure, and you only want to put a small amount of funds on the account, you can just hit enable email address. And if you type in your email address here, right, you'll get sent an email. And if you click that link on your email, it'll open up your account on anywhere you are in the world that you are. So this can be a great way to have what they call a hot wallet. And a hot wallet, all that means is that it's hot. Money's moving in and out and in and out, but you don't really usually keep a lot of value on those wallets. On the alternate, you have cold wallets. So that's sometimes called so I have a hardware wallet here. I have my Ledger, it's a little Ledger device. And usually people call those, it will be a cold wallet, which means, it's cold, you don't use it very often. You might keep a lot of funds locked up in there because it's more secure, okay? As well as having email recovery, and it says right here, less secure. You could have phone recovery. So I can put my phone number in here. And if I ever lose access to my wallet for whatever reason, I can't log in, I can't get into my money, my Near tokens, I can get a text message, a code that I could put in and access my wallet again. So that could be a great way for people. A lot of people lose access to their wallets for whatever. I have a friend actually right now who had some Ethereum in a decentralized application 2 years ago. And for the past year and a half, she lost her key. And so if she had this less secure types of recovery, maybe for her phone, for example, maybe she'd be able to get access to her wallet. But there's also security concerns on that side of things. People can, SIM jack, which just means they could, hijack your SIM card and act like they're your number, and they could get that text message, which would give them access to your account. That can be an issue. With email, you could think of, obviously, if someone else has access to your email, if you go to a library or your school or wherever else, or if you leave your email open somewhere, someone can just search for Near, and if that comes up, they can have access to all your tokens. And so the most secure way, Ledger, which I already have one on, so I guess you can't connect multiple ledgers, which, for now is probably reasonable. Or you can hit recovery phrase. So a recovery phrase is the traditional way of backing up a cryptocurrency or a blockchain wallet. So, when Bitcoin was the only blockchain around, or the biggest blockchain around, you'd go download the Bitcoin software, or if you wanted to or go somewhere to get a Bitcoin wallet, and then you get a public key, a public account, and then you get your public seed, or like a hash, which is your private key. And a hash just means a way of taking some data and making it be all the exact same size. So another way of doing that is to give you mnemonic phrases. So that's 12 words that will equal that hash, okay? So obviously this is the most secure, it's not obviously, I guess, but this is the most secure because you take these 12 words, you write them down on a piece of paper, and you hide it away somewhere. And so it's the most secure because if someone gets into your phone or your email or takes all of your information, it doesn't matter, because unless they get those 12 words, they do not have access to your account. So when most people are getting involved in crypto, usually everyone tries to explain the importance. So this is where we're about the importance of a private key, the importance of your seed phrase. Okay, so if you start an account, you make a Near account, it'll ask you for, to write down your seed phrase. Now, this is always difficult because where do you write it down? You put a piece of paper, you laminate it, you make sure that you put it somewhere safe in a little lockbox. But what if your house burns down or there's a flood and you have like $1 million of crypto sitting in that key? Anything could happen. And so personally, I think one of the most difficult parts of crypto is the very first step. How do you secure that password, that private key that no one in the world is supposed to see? It's difficult. It's a difficult problem, in my opinion, and that's why I use a ledger, because that allows me to hide away my private key somewhere very secure, very safe. And if something does happen to that private key, say wherever it is, if there's a flood or burns down, or I have no access to that area anymore, I still have a hardware device where I can log in and send all my funds to a new wallet somewhere else. So I have a backup ledger. I actually have multiple backup ledgers. So I have two ledgers that have the exact same key on them. So that's how I try and, so if one ledger stops working, or if one ledger, something happens to it, so it gets stolen or whatever else, I lose it, I have a backup ledger with the exact same assets on it, the exact same key and nothing, so I can always do that. And then I have a new ledger, Nano X, that has no assets on it yet, that if something did get compromised, or I lost my private key or my password, burned up in flames, I could take the assets from my current wallet. So this wallet has Chloethedev.near on it, like you can see up here. So all of these accounts are on the exact same ledger. So let's look at Marmaduke.near, because I think this account kind of, let's look at this summary. This balance looks kind of low. Let's look at my staking. So Near has staking, not very important right now. It's just a way for, that's how the network security is acquired, through staking. I'll do a different video on staking. But the point is, I have 1,600 tokens staking, and I've earned 13 Near. Woo! So staking has staking rewards for providing some network security, and you get your rewards here, and you can withdraw them. This validator is inactive. That's not good. So I can look at it and see why it's inactive. Because it's inactive, I can unstake. I won't go through all that effort at the moment. But let's say I knew my wallet was compromised and I wanted to remove these 1,600 Near tokens. What I would do is I would unstake first, and then I go to send. So here I can right now it's just, so this is what I can send max. Let's say I can send 10 tokens, and then I can send them to a new account, right? So what I would do is I'd set up my new ledger with a new account. Let's say it would be, Chloethedev2.near. And then I can send all my tokens from this account to Chloethedev2. And then, so this is what's different about the account structure on Near as opposed to some other blockchains. I can have multiple private keys. So those private, so let's look at it, profile. So as we see this, there's multiple private keys available. So I have one private key attached to my ledger, but I could create a new private key with full access, and full access, like it sounds, just means that this private key has access to my entire account. It can do everything. When I was on my Chloethedev.near account, you could see in my summary that I had a lot of authorized applications, and there was lots of keys that were able to access my account, but only with a fee allowance of 0.0271, 0.25, 0.036. So these private keys are not full access. They're giving some limited access to a certain application to do certain things, okay? But you could make full access keys as well. So, I mean, that's the gist of like how to navigate the wallet, what happens when I have an account. But like, how do you actually make an account, okay? So if you want to make a Near account, On this application, it's actually not the simplest and most intuitive, to be honest. So you hit create new account, and it brings you straight to reserve an account ID. So here's the issue here. On Near, if you want a human readable name, a human readable account ID, like Chloethedev.near, Chloe.near, Marmaday.near, Mika.near, all these .near names, you need to actually lock up 1.1 near for storage to do so. Okay. Now, not everyone that is getting started on the blockchain has 1.1 near to just jump in and get started. So, usually, I work with CreateBase, which is a near guild for artists that are trying to do some cool creative projects on the Mint-based minting platform for NFTs. Again, not very important. But when new artists come to us and are trying to get onboarded into the blockchain for Near, we send them the 1.1 Near that they need to get going. So let's see, getting started with .near. Look at that. Getting started with .near is available. So, as you can see, only lowercase characters. You can use digits. Okay, so these characters can be used as separators. That's kind of cool. But you can't use at and you can't use dot. So, for example, I have Chloe the dev, and I also have Chloe, but you can do like Chloe. Oops, someone took that one. Oh, wow. People took a lot of these. Wait, that's wild. I don't believe, what they're saying, I think because Chloe is taken. Okay, so I have to add some sort of identifying character. So it's like email addresses. Those spaces don't actually mean anything in the blockchain, but you can use them visually for your human readable name. So let's say I wanted to make Chloe 1, or let's do Chloe 2, because arguably it's not like. So what's gonna happen here is it's gonna bring you to this page where you can choose how you want to secure this account, like I showed you previously. You can use a recovery phrase, which I'll show you because that's the most important. You can use a ledger or Nano X, so it's a hardware wallet, like I showed you as well. This little dangly thing with some buttons on it. So you can secure it with your hardware wallet with a password like that. And less secure, so the first time I made Chloe.near, it was a hot wallet. And so I use email. It's a great way to get people onboarded quickly. Everyone's got an email account. And then you can use phone recovery. I'm pretty sure with phone recovery, you have to have at least 36 near deposited. So let's go with recovery phrase and see what happens. So when you click this, it'll say very simply, setup phrase. Write down the following words in order. Okay, in order. If you don't have the correct order, it's going to be a huge pain. And keep them somewhere safe. You cannot recover your account without them. So I appreciate them making it very clear. Some people don't read this. Some people just copy and paste this and put it in some open file somewhere. Probably not the best idea or the most secure idea. You should probably get out a pen and paper and write it down. Okay, you might want to you probably shouldn't be copying and pasting a private key. So this is the password, right? Soda, tray, penalty, join. You probably shouldn't be copying and pasting that anywhere for the most part. But if you feel like you have a secure way of doing that, it's not, if it's your first wallet as well, it's not that big of a deal. Just get used to writing it down, copying and pasting it somewhere safe and going through. So I am, I'm just going to copy it. So it says seed phrase copied. Thank you. And so, some ways of securing this could be, writing a poem with all of these words, and maybe the first word is the first word in the first line, the second word is the second word in the second line, or having some other algorithm that you can think up. I've definitely done some really interesting things to try and secure private keys, because if anyone happens upon your private keys, you don't want to make it that easy where you just have, near private key 1, 2, 3 into 12. That would probably be a little bit too easy. In today's day and age, 12 words all lined up nicely. A pretty good amount of people would assume it's a private key. And they might just test that out in a few top blockchains and take all your money. So to be as secure as possible, so let's we copy the phrase. Let's go to Google Docs. I'm probably not going to actually save this account. So this is what I was saying, make things a bit difficult. When you make your first Near account, you actually don't have to have a named account. You can get a random string account, and I'll show that as well quickly. So this would be a random string account. Okay, let's go here first. Profile. So this would be a random string account. Instead of saying something dot near, it's a confusing random string. It's very hard to verify if it's correct or not. But you can get these for free. Not easily off of the near wallet.near.org website, which is, again, honestly, it's quite a pet peeve of mine. Okay, let's see. The easiest way, in my opinion, is to get a third-party wallet and generate a free account. So Moonlet, I'll put a link in this video when it goes on to YouTube. But Moonlit Wallet is a good wallet. I mean, I've used it. I don't know if it's good. Honestly, I don't know the code. I have no clue, but I've used it. It seems very easy to use as a newcomer. And I would definitely recommend it to a newcomer trying to just test out Near for the first time for free. If you make a Near account and you need some funds, let me know, and I will send you 1.1 Near. Like, don't worry about it. But let's go back to create account because it's going to make me do this again. So Chloe2, create account, recovery phrase. It's a different one each time. So copy phrase. Let's delete this one. Oops. Paste that there. And then continue. So now it's going to ask you for one of the random words. So word 12. So let's come here. I know this one, it's only 12 words. So it's this word here. Okay. Oops. Sorry. That makes it too big. Here we go. Verify. Okay. So what's going to happen now is it's going to give you a one-time funding address. Okay. So this sometimes can seem a little bit confusing, but I promise you, sorry, I made my thing a bit too big. So now I'm just trying to fix it. So what's happening now, quite simply, is this is a one-time or a funding address where if anybody sends 1.1 Near, so initialize your account by sending at least, so you can send more, 1.1 Near to the one-time funding address below. Return to this screen once your fund have been deposited to finish creating your account. So, it might help you. It tries to, teach you to buy some Near, and you can buy it from Binance or Crypto.com or Gate.io or a few other exchanges. Or like I said, if you find me, you could be like, hey, here's my funding address. Can you please, I'm on, Telegram or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The point is, you can copy this funding address and send it to somebody, and they can send you Near that way. You can do it from Binance, for example. Binance is a pretty big cryptocurrency exchange. And so you could put that there, and I'm pretty, it should send 1.1 Near from Binance to that account. And the transaction fees are so low, not even a penny, I think. It's very low. And your account will be created. I can't think of a name that I want right now. Actually, I can think of a name that I want right now, and I'm going to go through the process on my ledger, though, of showcasing how this works, because no point doing it. So let's create a new account to end off this stream. So I have a friend, Mackenzie Brook Yoga, Mackenzie Brook, who she dropped off a dog for me to foster, and she brings food from time to time. And I give her fiat paper bills from time to time. But I would really love to be able to send her crypto to support the work she does with animals around the island and supporting others. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make Mackenzie.near. So, I can't even spell Mackenzie. Okay, Mackenzie.near, and I'm going to make sure I spelled her name right because I'm sure there's at least more than one way to spell Mackenzie. So, let's see. I should probably go to her Instagram because I have her on WhatsApp, but I put that in, and so who knows? I could have written that wrong too. Mackenzie. Cool. Super simple. So Mackenzie.near is available. I am going to log into my ledger as well first. Okay. Let's get to it. So I'm in my Near application on my ledger Nano X. Mackenzie, yep, that's spelled correctly. Create account. Okay, so now it's going to ask me how to recover it. I'm not going to use the recovery phrase option because I'm live, and that would be silly because everyone live would see this the private key. But on Ledger, I can just do it like this. So it's going to say connect your Ledger, and then press both buttons to log in, and then gives you instructions how to do it. Okay, no, not a big deal. I've already done that. Continue. So now on my Ledger, it's saying, do you want to approve this? I'm saying yes, approve it. So now it's giving me a funding address. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this funding address. I'm actually gonna duplicate the page to keep things super simple so we can actually see it happen in real time. So we're gonna go to send, okay? And I'm just gonna send 1.1 near to keep things as simple as possible. And then right up, paste to this funding address, submit, confirm. Super simple. Now on my Ledger again, it's gonna say, are you confirm this transfer of 1.1 near to this funding address from Chloethedev.near, and I'm gonna say approve. And it's asked, so cool, approved. Now we can go here and look, account funded, okay? I acknowledge that this one-time funding address is invalid and that any other assets will be lost. That's actually not true. You can send more funds to this address, but only because I'm using a ledger. If you don't have a ledger, you will not be able to send funds repeatedly to the same address, funding address, to get new account names. So just so you know. Now, if you want to send funds to this Mackenzie.near, you can send funds right there. So finish. So, okay, now it's saying confirm that I want to create the account. And so it took 0.1, so now it's going to deposit 0.1 near to the account from there, blah, blah, approve. Okay, so now it's processing it. Okay, and once it's done processing the transaction, so all of this is just we're sending transactions on the blockchain to try and get an account, and it's going to make me add a key. So now I'm confirming the transaction to add a full access key to Mackenzie.near. Okay, approve, lovely. Lots of approvals to make here. But welcome to Near. Congratulations, Mackenzie.near. Your account has been successfully created. You must now use this account ID, so this is your public key, as your address for all Near operations. Please update your address on any exchanges or other devices. So, as I said, if you had a not named account previously, and then you went through this process, it would be upgraded to this account. So that could be confusing. I think that could get confusing for many people, which is why on wallet.near.org, they start you off with a named account right away, because the easiest way to get started, in my opinion, is having a named account. I agree with that, but it means that you have to get that 1.1 near from somewhere when you get started. Okay, so Continue to account. Now this is Mackenzie's account. It has, a little bit less than 0.1 near in it. So I put 1.1 near in it, or I paid 1.1 near, and I only have a total balance of 0.1 near. It's wild. Minimum balance and then available balance. And then you could see if we go to Chloethedev.near and we go to my summary. Okay. Oop. Refresh. So this is, there you go. I transferred 1.1 near to this account 2 minutes ago. Succeeded. After a while, you lose the status of each call. That's just because of how the near blockchain works. It tries to increase efficiency and not have all that data. But if we go to view all, we can see more details about these transactions. So success. Ooh, we don't need that anymore. So here we go. If we want to see more details about this transaction, we just gotta click it. This funding account, right, on my ledger has done 20 out transactions, it's 8 in transactions. And so this is where my extra near went to. And it stays in this account. So the next time I try and create an account, it'll probably happen instantly. But ledgers are a bit weird right now on the near blockchain. And it's good, because of my slow internet, it is gonna take a while to populate all the transaction information. So I'm not gonna really wait for that right now. Wait, sorry. The sizing of this screen is gonna bother me. Oh wait, I'm making it too small, eh? Instead of making it bigger. Sorry, like the sizing of my screen is not great, because that's what I want it to look like. Anyways, I'm ending the stream now. I'm kind of just playing around at this point, sorry. Or I shouldn't even call it a stream anymore. I should just call it my video. It's been 37 minutes. But I think we've went over most of what the blockchain is. Honestly, I am making these videos assuming someone like Mackenzie, who's not really used blockchain before, could watch them and learn how to set up an account, learn how to use their account just to send simple transfers. So for example, when the Marma J Foundation raises funds, I can now send some of those funds to Mackenzie.near. When Mackenzie logs into her account, she can click, I'm gonna close this because this is definitely slowing down my internet. She can look at her account, she'll see a total balance for her account. Let's say it's at 20 near or 30 near. She'll see all the information, no authorized apps, and what she'll be able to do is hit this big green send button, right? And then, she can't send anything right now because it's at the very minimum amount between storage, and if this allowed her to send money, her account will get deleted. So this won't let her send anything. You can send if you go. Remember, I said that it's self-sovereign, right? You as a user have full control of what you do. So if you use the command line interface, the CLI, and you decide to go in there and send some near somewhere, you can do it. But then your account will get deleted because you don't have enough storage. But what Mackenzie can do now, if she logs in, is if she say I send her 100 near, well, she can then send 100 near to an exchange like Binance or some other exchange, where she can then get some US dollars or whatever else she needs to buy dog food or get set up in that way. So Crypto.com is an exchange. Actually, why don't I just open these things up? Crypto.com is an exchange that has near on it that allows users to buy and sell crypto. And they have like a Visa card as well, where you can go to an ATM and withdraw your crypto straight like that. Just you can put it to U.S. dollars and then go to an ATM and withdraw. So I'm testing this out now with my fiance back in Canada. So if when she earns her near, she already sold some for Canadian dollars, and we're testing e-transfers and all that, sending back and forth. E-transfers are a free way to send money in Canada, and so for Canadians, this could could be a great solution to get some near, send it to this exchange. Sell it for Canadian dollars and send an e-transfer for free to themselves. In Antigua, these solutions aren't so simple. There's no e-transfers here, sadly. And so it's more realistic for people to have a credit card or some type of card to go to an ATM and get some cash. Even if ATMs have ATM fees, yes, you're going to have to pay the bank their fees, which is, in my opinion, if you want to use cash, you got to pay people who run the cash. And so if you want to use an ATM, you got to pay the ATM fees. Hopefully, eventually, people accept crypto for payments, especially in places like Antigua, where it could be more efficient than taking Visa, or the merchant fees there are kind of insane, 3% like on every sale or more. But yeah, so the goal with all of this is to get people locally in Antigua set up on the Near blockchain with at least a Near name. So if you're in Antigua and you want to set up a Near name, definitely let me know. I will definitely send you 1.1 Near so you can get started. There's not much to do on the Near blockchain at the moment. In my next video, I'll probably I will showcase some of the fun decentralized applications that there are to play around with. I'm also going to be doing some videos streaming or showcasing the Mint-based platform, which is an NFT, non-fungible token minting platform where you can create your own tokens, make your own smart contract, and all those tokens are pieces of art. They're non-fungible, which all that means is they can't be exchanged for another. That doesn't really mean art. Like art, there. Art is non-fungible because if that art is special to me, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave you a different art piece for the equal value, and it'll be the same." I'll be like, "No, I want that one." And so that could also be certificates, like for example, a graduation certificate. In my opinion, is a great use case for NFT, where it might cost me $30 to get the fact that I graduated from my university. They gotta send me a transcript or whatever. If a transcript was an NFT, all you have to see is, okay, what address. So actually, I'll go to a summary. So received 0.1 from Near, right? So you could see here that where this came from and what you received. So on the blockchain, you have this ability to, if I received a transcript from somebody, I can prove that I got it from a school, right? So, I went to Liberty University for my, where I graduated first. So if liberty.near or libertyedu.near was the official recognized Near account of Liberty University, and they sent me a transcript, and you could see all my grades and all my details on that transcript, then if I sent that to a job, all the job would have to verify would be, did this token come from the actual university? If so, it's valid. And so therefore, it would be a lot cheaper, instead of sending something through the mail, taking a long time, or even using some centralized platform that might cost a lot. They could send for a fraction of a penny, just send over the transcript, and it can all be automated and all be done. So the two quick ideas, I guess I'll say, that I've been thinking about or working on with NFTs. The first one I'm already working on. I volunteer locally at the Friends of the Care Project in Antigua. It's a local school for special needs youth, or differently abled youth, and we do art with them, with the kids. I go Mondays and Wednesdays. We do art, So today we did some Rosa Parks portraits, which was really fun, and we did some traffic lights because the inventor of the traffic light was a black person. And so my fiance Bianca is going to digitally recreate these art pieces, and we are going to mint them as NFTs, and we're going to put them up for sale to raise money for the Friends of the Care Project, to raise money for these students, for whatever they may need. There's so much need that honestly it's like they need chairs, wheelchairs, they need like extra hands and just people, bodies there. They need just more art supplies, like toys, everything. And so, it's in my opinion, it's a cool way of allowing these students that you might not have an ability to showcase their art to the world normally, just a way to take their art, show it to the world, and maybe earn a little bit of income for themselves. And the other idea, a little bit larger, I suppose, is to make greeting cards a little bit more exciting and fun, or cards more exciting and fun. And so I would love to start sending my son like fun or just fun cards, maybe each month for whatever, so Valentine's Day card for February, and then I can send an Easter card or whatever, but with some near in it. On the blockchain, again, access is pretty easy to, access control is pretty easy to or define or to use. And so the idea would be just whoever owns this card or this token, this NFT, has the ability to withdraw the near tokens that are inside of it. So what I would do is I would just make a nice Easter card or Valentine's Day card or birthday card. It looks cool, fun, whatever. So when I send it to amory.near, he'll have one of the access keys. So he'll his mother or whatever will be able to but he'll be able to look at the card at least and enjoy the card. And then eventually he'll click one button, receive the tokens that are on it, and then he can go to that little send area or his mother, and how much ever tokens are in. So say I send him 19 near tokens, they can just take that 19, send it to Binance, sell it or I use Binance, crypto.com. Actually, crypto.com for them because they can use US dollars there, and then withdraw that for whatever they need. So this is still the early stages of all of this, but those are two of the use cases that I want to use the blockchain for. And if you end up watching this video, please leave a comment or any kind of cool ideas you think you can use the blockchain for. But yeah, this was the first episode of Getting Started with Near. Hopefully I gave a relatively adequate description of I know I didn't go deep into what the blockchain is. I don't think most people care, to be honest. Honestly, this was mostly just about what are accounts, private and public key. What does that mean? If how do I get a .near human readable name? And once I get that name, how do I secure it to make sure that no one can take my money and I have my secure account with some near in it and we're good to go. The next video will be okay, what now? So I have my account, I have maybe 2, 3, 5 near in there, I have my name, but what next? And so I think I'm actually going to use this Mackenzie.near account to do it. So let me go to Chloethedev.near, and I'm going to send 19 near to Mackenzie. Oops. Oh my gosh. I can't type today. Oh, I gotta type the whole thing out. So I'm sending 19 near to Mackenzie.near, submit, confirm. Oops, it's gonna make me go on my ledger, and my ledger is locked. I do this very often, and it locks my ledger often. But Near seems to not lock my ledger as much as MetaMask does on Ethereum. So there you go. That's how quick it is. Return to my dashboard, and then I can go to Mackenzie.near, and you'll see that there is 19.09996. If we go back to our summary, not all of that will be available. So let's See, the near blockchain works faster than my internet. Sorry, profile. So now we can see the account ID of Mackenzie.near is public. The total balance is at 19.09996. The minimum balance, or else the account got deleted, is 0.0325. That's for storage for the account. And so the available balance is this total balance minus this minimum balance. And this is all public information. Anyone in the world can look at this information whenever they want by going to, and I'll open it in a new tab, summary, and then you go to view all, and then you could see it goes explorer.mainnet.near.org, accounts, and then Mackenzie.near. So if I change this Mackenzie.near and I put, oops, I cannot spell today, and I put Chloe.near, it'll just switch to show all of my public information. So my native account balance, storage used, and all that information will be all public for everyone to see. So now that's the end of this video, I suppose. Stay tuned for the next video where I will explain, what can Mackenzie.near do with this 19 near. What can we do? I'm gonna go to Berry Club, which is a decentralized application where you can do some yield farming. Oh gosh, we'll talk about so much fun stuff with that. And then eventually what I'm gonna do is, once Mackenzie feels comfortable taking ownership of this account, I am going to probably enable maybe a phone number or a seed phrase, and then give that to her. And then, I'll probably keep full access for now, so that even if she loses the seed phrase or whatever, if she lost the seed phrase, that would be quite detrimental to the account, because then someone else could get the account and get the access. So that's why this stuff is always very difficult. But the idea is, this is her account. I'm just going to be funding it for now. Whenever she feels comfortable taking control over the account, I can just make a new recovery method, and then I can actually it's grayed out here because you have to have at least one full access key. But if I make another full access key here, I'll be able to disable my ledger as an access key, and then I will have no control over the account anymore. Mackenzie will have full control. And so I also have this for Friends of the Care Project.near. Actually, I'm not sure why it's not showing up. Let's see. Add account, sign in with ledger. Let's see. This should show me. Uh-oh. I make too many accounts. I'm just going to approve all my accounts. Oh, I made one for my mom too. Add key for my mother and gel. Oh, looks like I made one for Dogs and Cats of Antigua, DACOA.near. I made a lot of accounts. And then Friends of the Care Project, there's the one. That one is the one that I'm going to be starting off with Kathleen.near, one of my other friends. Oh gosh, I didn't realize that I had all these accounts not logged in. On my laptop they are, here they're not. Boom! All the accounts are now here and available. So the first project for raising funds will be with Friends of the Care Project.near, so FOTCP.near. And so, yeah, eventually, hopefully we'll start staking with them too and all that fun stuff. But yeah, if anyone ended up watching this far into the video, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ended up being almost an hour. I'll try and keep them under an hour for sure, so that with 2x speed, you can watch it in half an hour. But my usual intention is to keep them between 10 and 15 minutes, short videos. But yeah, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Hope you learned a little bit more about blockchain. And I guess I'm going to stop recording now. See y'all.